that tea worked. I was scheduled to appear tomorrow. I must have done something right because, to use the airline terms, I got upgraded today. But that said, I know I stand between you and a scrumptious dinner, entertainment, etc. So I will try to be succinct because I'm all for raising the bar as the theme goes, but I don't want to keep you all from the bar for too long. Last Saturday, we hosted, before I left USA, a delayed Christmas party for a group that we share called Marriage Encounter. I heavily recommend that to all of you. It's a great faith-sharing experience. I know a reputation for traveling. One of the ladies said, Victor, I hope this new year you're going to slow down a little bit. I told Ginny, I'll be in a plane tomorrow night to go to India. She said, there you go again. But immediately I said, no, this is going to be different. And I explained to her the opportunity that I was coming here for primarily. And so her next question was, so do you speak often? So I said, yes and no. I do speak often. I speak my mind often too. But not, and I knew what she meant. Because simply put, because of my good fortune of having been part of this enterprise, I have not been part of any alumni, though I have been so blessed as Ivan listed, part of any organization, alumni or social or any other, because this has been the labor of love. Having said that, 4 years back, I happened to meet Father Denzel Lobo, the current director of the business school at St. Aloysius High School, which is St. Aloysius College, which is my first alma mater. And through that, I happened to meet Ivan Fernandez, who he was very kind in his words to explain my background, but I really have been inspired to have seen his own commitment to helping others, as the Jesuit motto is. Now, when Ivan asked me to share my success story, and as it turned out, this turns out to be quite an opportune juncture for me to do this reflection of 25 years, because I've heard a lot about strategy and exit plan and succession plan, because we engineered one just 4 years back. We got a private equity investor who's very interested in our industry. I don't take any credit for the timing, because our thought process was to initiate a succession before a change was imposed on us. Having been always trying to be proactive, we wanted a succession at our terms, because it takes a long time to train a new group. And also, I found the organic market was slowing down, so we thought it was a good time to grow through acquisitive route, and so we needed a private equity source. That happened, and in the 4 years since, it has been anything but planned. I mean, you can make all the plans, long-term or short-term, and God has His own plans, because as you know, within a year, the US economy and the industry that we are most associated with, I don't have to go any farther than say one word: housing. And between that and the financial crisis, it has been anything but a smooth ride. But we were known for our poise, and the word I've most used and tried to inculcate in our team is nimbleness. And so nimble we had to be, and so we're just completing the succession, and from this year I will be exiting that business, though I'll be involved on the board as an advisor, helping them with the new business opportunities, and I'm continuing that. And we have some other interests in UK and Mexico, and guess what, right here in India. Now, when I got the description of the slot that I'll be sharing a successful story, I assumed mine was a successful story, and in a lot of ways it is. But I wanted to define, it's a nice feel-good term, but somewhat nebulous. So how do we define successful? Turnover comes to mind, that's an easy metric. And from that point of view, we can convert it in rupees, even in today's reduced volume, our turnover is a little over 1,000 crores. Sounds large, but that is just a number. Number of years we have succeeded in a very tough and conservative industry like waterworks in US. So that could be a nice factor right there for being successful. However, just as I was trying to prepare for this sharing, the words of a Father Michael Pais. He is the professor of theology at Boston College in Boston, another great renowned Jesuit school, where we have 3 sons, as Ivan said. Our middle son, Ryan, got admission, so we had gone for an orientation. This was in 2009, 1 year after the biggest downturn in the American economy, the financial, and there was a lot of angst about the financial industry. And one lady in a question and answer session asked Father Himes, how do you define success in today's world when there's so much maligning, so much of discredit to the financial industry, the investment banking, and so on and so forth. And Father Himes, without missing a beat, lady, look, you can define success any way you want. In my book, I would ask everyone to answer 3 questions. First, do you get joy from what you do? Second, are you good at it, whatever you're doing? Because you can get joy from doing something. If you're not good at it, it could cause harm. And the last is, does the world benefit from what you're doing? Folks, if you use that definition, I can confidently say mine has been a very successful journey, because every day I've had nothing but joy from what I've been fortunate enough to do. And being diligent about attention to detail, I've tried to be good at what we did. And in a place like American Marketplace, you need to be. And the last, we were able to, and I got a sense of relief and pride sitting over and looking at all the presentation today from Father Anthony and all the others, because in a small way, but consistent way, we were able to develop a business which empowered people. And it's interesting, there was a question by someone, if you are not a Christian, how do you nurture Christian values? And I wanted to respond to that, but I knew I would get a chance. Folks, our partnership, we had a Hindu from my partner, one of them Hindu from India, a Jewish gentleman from New Jersey, and then we made the joint venture with the Chinese. As you know, they're still communist on record, but we made it work. There is no barrier for you to develop and nurture and introduce and live with these Christian values. They don't have to be called this or that. In the end, I think every denomination, every religion have the fundamental same core values, and all the things that were enumerated today, they all point to making people feel good about themselves and making them part of the team. And that has been our story. And I was very fortunate enough, the early training that I got from our home, from St. Aloysius, and all the way through, and our Indian values of family and community and virtue of patience and perseverance, all that came together, and I was able to parlay that into the business that we created. Now, it's not all rosy. I've been blessed in many, many ways, but as you can see, there have been 1 or 2 losses. For example, a little bit of the hair loss. Okay, a lot of it. But even that, I was listening to someone mention RTI, the right to information. If I had the right to the right information, I could have avoided that too. And let me explain. When I started losing hair from the front, one of my partners said, hey, I read in a magazine, if you lose hair from the front, that means you're a thinker. I said, that's good. A few weeks later, another friend of mine, another partner of mine, said, Victor, you're losing hair from the back. You know what that means? I read somewhere that means you're sexy. I said, I'll take that in a heartbeat. What I didn't know was the disconnect, that if you're one losing hair from the front and the back, you're one who thinks he's sexy. Now, you know, earlier today, many of you shared a lot of wisdom and acumen, and that's great for any entrepreneur, either the current one or the aspiring one. But most of them, they were a 5,000, 10,000 foot view. I'm going to fly a little lower and kind of get you on the ground floor of a journey that we undertook, lived every day, and made it happen. And, you know, when as I once said, for some reason, I don't come from a family background, though my father, who was, was not educated, but he had a lot of heart, a lot of passion, and he did start a small business, but which went down because of ill health and other misfortunes. But when I went to US, at a time when I went, I could have walked into, I was fortunate enough with a good education, I could have got into a job, and for some reason I felt I should start a business. But knowing how dynamic and slippery the US economy could be, I was looking for a very down-to-earth business. And folks, you don't go any more down to earth than man on the covers. I'll explain to you my thought process, what led me to it. But we chose common products, the products that you can sort of see it, hug it if you want, and feel it's real, nothing fancy about it. But we matched it with what I would call it uncommon teamwork. If you're nothing, we were great team-driven business. And a vision. Now, when I would, in later years, or recent years, when I would on certain cocktail parties, business lunches, when I mentioned about all our sort of heroics, it was all you had, a vision, because you went to China before others, Tom Friedman's world is flat type of scenario, and I would tell him, no sir, it was called a need, because we were not caught up with any vision or strategy or anything like that. We just felt there was a need, there was a felt need, as the marketing people would tell, and we wanted to match that up with a proper source. But we knew in the bumpy ride that we'll have, we needed a steadiness, we needed that management, and this is where the training I got at the IIM Ahmedabad was extremely useful to manage a small business in all aspects. We did not have a marketing department, we didn't have a sales, we didn't have a financial, and so on and so forth. We had to wear all those hats and guide, but most importantly, as we grew, we had to move, or at least add the management excellence to an entrepreneurial thinking and kind of guide the company through, because the growth phase can be equally difficult as the startup itself.